Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back. This is Engineers on a Budget. My name is Sam and today we are going to go ahead and set up for 2023. I know it's like almost mid-January, but my pays this past month have been a little weird. So my first actual paycheck for January isn't until, what day is that? The 13th. So January 13th is when I get my first 2023 paycheck. So we're gonna go ahead and set up. I just created this really quick on my computer to help me go through and get everything set up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and lay this out. And make some room here. Make some room. Share the love. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and lay out our goals. These are just very simple pages. I don't want a lot on them. I put 6 boxes just because it looked nicer, but I don't know if I'm going to use them all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn this because I can't write like some people can. It's just very hard for me. So let's see. What I want to do is we'll go ahead and do $10,000 emergency fund. And the ways that I'm going to do that is I'm doing the 20% savings, which calculates to $204 to emergency fund every week. I set aside, so 20% of my take-home pay per week would be about $294. So I use $90 to stuff sinking funds, and then we do $204 here. And then the next thing that we do are Saving Sunday. And what we do is we do needs savings. So I have 3 savings challenges that I do. I'm gonna write challenges every week, and whatever we pull out of those needs, those identified needs challenges, we go ahead and set aside in our emergency fund. So that is goal number 1 for $10,000 to emergency fund. I think I'll probably hit the hopefully, fingers crossed, hit the $5,000 milestone at the end of this month. I'm hopeful. We'll see. That is the first item that we're working on for a goal this year. And then the next one, so I have about $36,800 in my, can anybody see that? It's a little hard to see, isn't it? $36,800 in left on my student loans. I want to get that paid off in 3 years completely, so I need to do about $12,266 for my student loans every year. So what I want to do is we're going to round that up to $13,000. So what we start with is do $644 monthly minimum payment. Which means, so 644 times 12, which is $77.28, and if I want to do 13,000, I need another $5,272, which means every month I need to set aside about $440 additional payment. So we'll need to look into that. Another goal that I have is I want to have $6,000. Well, let's do it this way. 1470 times 4, $5,880. I need white out. All right. So instead of 6,000, what I want to do is kind of get a month ahead and have that sitting in my bank account. So I need $5,880. So what I want to do for a month ahead. So we're going to do no spend January, February, and then April. And then after my so we have 204 plus savings challenges. After eFund is funded. All right, so that's going to be a third goal. And then what I want to do is meet sinking fund goals. And those are like our holidays, Christmas, birthdays, and then travel items. So the way we do that is we do $90 weekly to sinking funds, and then what we do is we have want savings challenges as well. So it kind of is the same as our savings challenges for needs, but it comes out of our want envelope. So those are my 4 biggest goals. And then what we're going to be doing this year is we're going to be doing a home purchase. So we have, let's see. We are either going to purchase a new home to move into, or we're going to purchase a rental home. And what it really comes down to is the market in our area. So we live in Denver, and it is very expensive here to get a home. So if we bought a rental home, we would want the mortgage to be at a situation where we can rent it easily out to our parents that are starting to get a little on the older side. They are about to reach retirement. They don't necessarily have everything set up to retire comfortably in this area, so we were going to go ahead and purchase a rental home to rent out to them. But the prices in the area make it very difficult to do that and a budget that they would be okay with. So if we can find a rental home that's within their budget, after we do all the mortgage calculations and such, then we could do that. If not, then what we could do is, my husband and I have always dreamed about having a mountain home, so we could purchase a new home up in the mountains about 20-30 minutes outside of Denver and move into there and then rent out our current home to them as a rental property. So we need to figure out kind of what we want to do, and just kind of, once we figure that out, go along with it. So we have a down payment already, but if we're going to go ahead and buy a mountain home, then we're not going to have the 20% down payment that we would like to have. We have ways to work around that. We don't necessarily need 20%. It's just nice so that we don't have to do the PMI payments. But I will keep you guys up to date as it all unfolds. Hopefully we'll have a plan to move forward by the end of this month, because we would like to close on a house towards the end of March, beginning of April. So that is another goal of ours. And then I don't know what really to put in this one. And then our last goal is going to be for the HELOC. What I want to do is we do need to do some upgrades in our current home, whether we rent it or stay here. So I'm anticipating probably about 80 to 100K work that needs to get done. And once we finish the work, then we're gonna go ahead and review where our HELOC is where our HELOC is at, and then we're gonna figure out plan of action to pay it off quickly. And then I think this is gonna go ahead and move into our next set of goals. So the next set of goals is going to be our 5-year goals. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over, and we have this. So one of the things that I need to do is I need to create a corporation or business or something like that to manage our rental properties. So that's going to be kind of top of the list of things. Also, I want to pay off student loans. And I would like that done in 3 years. I also want to pay off our Tacoma, and I would like that done within 2 years. I have to convince my husband of that, so we'll see. I don't remember what his interest rate is, but I feel like it's kind of low, so we might not try to pay it off as quickly, because we would make more money taking the money we would pay off the Tacoma with and putting it into investments. Because I want to say it was like 2%, if not less than that. So that is a possibility for a 5-year goal. He does have a 5-year, I think it's a 5-year car loan anyway, so we'll be done with it within the 5-year goal, but we'll see what we feel we should do at the end of the year after we purchase the home and such. So and then we are going to do a Europe trip. Oh boy, I don't know why I thought Europe was spelled that way. Europe trip. And then that is going to be, let's see, 23. That's going to be in the year 2026 for a graduation present. So we lived in Europe for a few years when my son was younger, and he's been asking to go back, so I would like to, do a graduation trip with him to Europe, and after he graduates in 2026. So that's going to be a goal, and we're going to probably start saving for that goal. I would like to start this year, so I need to calculate about how much I should save and then work on saving that up, because it'll be myself, my husband, my son, and then also my daughter. So it'll be 4 of us going, and that is not cheap. And then I want to save, I'm going to keep these 2 open. I'd like these 2 to be like home focused, but I need to know what we're doing with the house first. So I'm going to leave these 2 open, and then they're going to be home. Either like pay off house to get rid of PMI kind of thing if we go for a bigger house, and or pay off the HELOC or something like that. I'm going to put HELOC here because I know one of them is going to be HELOC, but I need to know what our balance will be once we finish all of the updates to determine what a good goal is. So we have our goals for this year. We have our goal, our 5-year goals, or within 5-year goals. And then what I did do is I went ahead and made an income tracker for the year. So my husband's salary, my salary, the rental, depending on what we get, and how much we charge for rent. And then I have 2 other lines. So I'm going to put like what it was and how much we made, just so that way I can keep track of our income. And then for debt, what I do want to do is write down the starting balances of all of these. So for our, okay, so for the HELOC, and I just wrote these down, we are currently at $8,130.19, but that is going to be going up, so we'll see that increase. It is an ARM interest rate, so I'm a little concerned about that, but if we do need to, we can go ahead and do a refinance with our current mortgage and just pull that into it so we can lock in that rate. All right, and then student loans is at $36,806.39. I wanted to look at something really quick. All right, so I am just pulling up my stuff from this year. What I wanted to do was look at, maybe it's this one. So the beginning of last year, we were at $54,262.67. And then this year, I'm still doing calculations for my 2022 wrap up. So hopefully I can get that done and a video out too for those curious. But this year we're starting at $36,806.39. So I paid off last year $17,456.28 on my student loans, which is ridiculous. But I'm very happy that I was able to pay off that much. And this year we're not going to try to pay off that much because we do have other priorities that I want to go ahead and focus. And my interest rate for my student loans is not a lot. Wait, let me see what that was. So my interest rate for my student loans is 3.75%. All right, so for our car, the new car, oh, that's another one of my 5-year goals, is I want a new car. Look at there, look at there. So for car, we have $24,276, and then the interest for that is 1.99%. And then, so our primary residence, I don't know how to do this. We're gonna just go ahead and say our current mortgage. So $168,010, and our interest rate for our mortgage is 3.5%. So if we decide to move out and rent the current property, we'll just transfer this amount down to the rental line, and then we will go ahead and keep track of our new property and our primary residence. So that is it for this. And then on the next pages, I have a retirement fund and then my brokerage account information. And so for the retirement funds, I did want to go ahead and write down. All right, so my 401k, we're starting out this year at $18,750.29. My rollover from my previous job is $29,1755. From another previous job is $55,000. This is another 401k, $619. So that is all of my retirement funds. And then, and I'm not sure if you have a retirement fund, I've always at least done what my employee would match, whatever that percentage was. Always done that. There have been a few times where I've maxed out a couple months of payment, but then we decided to change our focus and I lowered the contribution so that way I could focus on other things. For my brokerage account though, I don't have a lot because I usually put $203.15. I usually put it in our joint account and then we go ahead and invest it together. So I would like to, after I finish paying off my student loans, I would like to work on my personal brokerage account, but that will happen in the future. I'm in no rush to do that right now. And then my husband's are on here, and then kiddo 1529 and kiddo 2529. My husband does most of the contributions to their college funds, and then I have another line here in case we want to track other accounts that we want to use for savings. So after that, I have my bills. I'm going to go ahead and write down all of the spending that we do for bills, so that way I can keep track and make sure that like if our phone starts increasing and stuff, I can call them and ask them why. Because I always like to increase our phone bill, usually around like the May time frame. So these are going to be all of our bills, and I'm going to try to do my best to fill this in every month. And then our sinking funds, for all of the sinking funds that we might have for the first quarter, I'm still going to be implementing the 50-30-20 savings. And we'll see how it goes. But then after that, I'm going to go ahead and reassess and see if it's working for us. If not, then I'm going to go ahead and move back to the cash envelope, zero-based budget kind of way that we do things, or we did things last year. So I'm just going to go ahead and have the sinking funds. I have some sinking funds like holidays, birthdays, Christmas, those kinds of things. And so I'm going to keep track of at least those things, and then most of them are probably going to be marked out for at least January, February, March this year. And then we'll see come April how I want to go ahead and manage the funds. And then we have spending, and these are all our old, it has our cash envelopes and then also our sinking funds in here, just so that way I can keep track of the spending. It's going to be hard to do that for January, February, and March, so I might keep my receipts and then do calculations on what might have come out of groceries and toiletries and family fund, just so that way I have a better idea of what I should be budgeting come April if we decide to go back to the zero-based budget. So January is a little shot because I didn't do that, but I can probably figure something out. And then I'll do better at keeping track from a fund perspective. I'll do better keeping track of how much we spend in all of those. And then this is our emergency fund. At the end of every month, I'm going to go ahead and color in how much we've saved. And our goal is $10,000. So we're about 4,300, which is like this line right here. So I'm hoping by the end of this month we'll reach 5,000, because that will be, our goal is to save at least $270 a week. We do a pretty good job, and I still have 3 more Sundays. So that's $810, which is definitely more than we need to reach the $5,000 mark. So my fingers are crossed that we can get to that $5,000 mark, because that would be huge, a huge weight off my shoulder. And then we'll be halfway there and just starting the year, so that'll be really nice. But we put a lot of effort in at the end of last year to go ahead and get a good jump start on it. And then these are all of the birthday, kiddo 1, 2, kiddo 1 and 2 birthday, and then dad birthday. And then at the end of the month, I'm gonna go ahead and come back here and just kind of figure out where we're at with everything. And then we'll go ahead and color things in. And then the last one is that $6,000 ahead fund. I'm gonna need $5,880 to truly be a month ahead, but targeting 6,000 will be really good for us. So it just won't be 6,000. Once we reach that, it won't be 6,000 every following month. So that is our setup for 2023. I am very excited. I'm a tad nervous on, oh boy, here it is, on the 50-30-20 budgeting method. I think it takes a little bit of time just to kind of get used to it, but you know, it's been like a month. I need to give it a full 3 months to make sure that it's not really for us, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that once we kind of get into the groove of things, it'll work out just fine. And the reason I want to do 50-30-20 budgeting method is because after we purchase a house, I want to be able to merge what we need to cover expenses and such with my husband, into our joint account, because right now we kind of keep it all separate. I usually manage all of the finances for the family with my own income, and then my husband takes care of the car and the mortgage. I take care of everything else. So when we go to purchase a new house, I'm gonna need, you know, I can't cover that mortgage by myself and everything that we're covering right now. So we're gonna look at merging the 50 from both of ours, and then we'll have the 30/20 for us to use in our own personal ways. So that is why we are moving to the 50/30/20, just so that way when we go to transition after purchasing a house, to make sure that all of the costs for owning 2 properties is covered, it'll be easier. So yeah, that's a little bit about 2023. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe, and we will see you in our next video. Until then, be safe. Bye.